This week on X-Trex, pilot seize, scientists freeze. Can we not pick this as a computer voice, please?
It's the time travel episode.
Welcome to X-Trex, a podcast where we introduce each other to our fandoms one episode at a time. I'm your host, Erin Cline, an X-Files enthusiastic apologist.
And I'm your other host, Stella Cheeks, a forever slut for Star Trek the original series. Each podcast, we pick 2 episodes that fit a cinematic theme, watch them together, and then record our feelings.
Our theme this week is time travel.
Today we got a classic time travel muck around episode. What's the number one thing you shouldn't let a primitive species see when you're orbiting their planet? Your highly advanced starship, of course. This episode has a horny computer, some good cunty Kirk, and our first slingshot around the sun.
And for the X-Files, we're watching a super duper kind of over the plate one here with season 4 Synchrony. You know, the one where the old man time travels. That's it. That's the explanation.
Time travels through ice. Or something.
Yeah, absolute zero.
Dumb. Are you ready for a ticket in there, Mr. Spock?
I sure am.
Captain's log supplemental. Engineering Officer Scott informs warp engines damaged, but can be made operational and re-energized.
Computed and recorded, dear.
All right, now for a quick-ish episode summary. Our episode opens on a U.S. Air Force base in the 1960s as they discover a UFO. Scramble the troops! Back on the Enterprise, we learn that the crew were pulled into a black star, aka a black hole, and in their attempts to break away, they were sent back in time. Everyone we care about is still alive, but they are stuck as fuck, and the U.S. Air Force are on their tail. This, you could tell I just copied, because why would I have written this part? A U.S. Air Force F-104 interceptor. I obviously didn't know that. I just copied that. Piloted by Captain John Christopher, is scrambled to identify the craft. Fearing the fighter may be carrying nuclear weapons, valid, Captain Kirk orders a tractor beam to be used on the jet, which causes it to break apart. To save the life of the pilot, they beam Christopher on board the Enterprise. What is a prime directive? Kirk realizes his oopsie-doopsie and decides that Christopher has to stay on the Enterprise lest he change the timeline. Sorry, Chris, old chum, you're in Starfleet now. But Spock is gonna Spock, and he does this thing called research and finds out that the pilot's as-yet unborn son will play an important role in a future mission to Saturn. Gosh, time travel is messy. Naturally, Kirk realizes he must return Kirk to Earth after all, but how to do so? Can't ponder it for too long, however, because they learn that some film has been taken of the Enterprise, so Kirk and Sulu beam down to the airbase to recover any evidence of their arrival. Unfortunately, they are caught by an air policeman who accidentally activates the emergency signal on the communicator and is beamed aboard. Womp womp. Anyways, I guess we'll keep this one too. And the duo keeps searching for evidence. But I guess Kirk and Spock are a hot, yet incompetent duo, and they are discovered again. Sulu escapes, but Kirk is captured. Cue cunty interrogation scene. Sulu gathers the troops, i.e. Spock and Christopher, to find the captain. After Kirk's guards are subdued, Christopher takes one of their guns and demands to be left behind. Spock, having anticipated this bitch move from Christopher, appears behind Christopher and disables him with a Vulcan nerve pinch. We've cleaned up our mess, so it's time to slingshot around the sun. Kirk approves this risky maneuver. He trusts Spock's math so much, and the Enterprise begins the maneuver, and time aboard the ship begins to move backwards. Christopher is beamed back to his fighter jet just at the instant he first encountered the Enterprise, preventing any film evidence of the ship being produced and erasing his memory of his time on the ship. The air policeman, you ask? We killed him. JK, they sent him back to crisp and clean, back to the 23rd century. All is well, and they, just casually invented time travel. Nice. What did you think of this episode?
I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I was expecting kind of a mid-episode because you kind of said that earlier.
To be honest, I didn't rewatch it, and I just kind of remembered parts of it. And then as we were watching it, I was like, actually, this episode is fun. This episode's really fun.
It is really fun. Kirk was super fun. I felt like I don't know why he necessarily made this choice of being super creepy in the first half of the episode for and the
well,
lighting.
He's talking to Christopher like a scared child, like, hey guy, you're on a ship.
I don't know, there's just something about it that comes so creepy, and then once he's interacting with the Earth people on the ground, he's just like such a cunt.
He loves to be captured.
Oh
frankly.
my god, he so does. You can tell he's just having the best of times. The fight scene in the small room, I loved that. I love those kind of things. I loved that Shatner was so clearly enjoying himself, just having like a whale of a time. Yeah. Yeah, I really liked it. I thought that the use of color in this was really fucking good. I really liked those outdoor shots of the sky. I thought those were beautiful. I just thought and there was like that whirly thing in the back on the communications.
On the computer behind Spock, like
Yeah.
science worlds.
Yeah, exactly. I liked that additional detail. Like, I just thought that this was great. I like that you get to see a bunch of the crew that you don't you wouldn't normally see the pajamas on the red shirt guys. Like, it stands out because you don't usually see
The
them
transporter uniform in season 1 for some reason.
For some reason, I don't know. They're wearing like jujitsu robes for some reason. But yeah, I really liked it. I thought that they did a really good job putting this together as an episode. Also, the subplot.
The subplot of this sassy lady computer is so funny. I had forgotten all about that. It was so good. And the explanation is, well, we got refitted at a planet dominated by females, and they thought our computer lacked personality, so they sassed it up a bit. That's so funny. She just calls Captain Kirk dear, and Spock's like, it giggles a lot. I dislike that. It's such an amazing subplot. And it's Majel Barrett's voice, which, you know, she goes on to become like the computer voice in all of Star Trek. But also, she plays a character in the animated series that has kind of like a sexy, sultry voice. And it's basically just that now. And they're like, do that slut voice again.
Slut
she's
voice.
a Cation? Yeah, Maresh. She's a Cation. I was right. She's a sexy cat. Look at her.
Oh my.
That's actually when like the occasions get canonized in a very explicit way.
And they use them in both cartoons and like comics and stuff, but they've chickened out and never, to my knowledge, really use them in live action stuff.
Yeah, and furries are mad.
Yeah, they should be.
Furries
Cations
are
are
big
hot. Anyways,
Anyways.
sexy computer becomes sexy Cation. They were like, we're not going to pay Walter Koenig to be on this, but Majel, could you be a slutty cat?
We already asked Scotty to do it, and he said no.
Yeah, this subplot is, well, this episode is written by DC Fontana, our girl. So I'm not surprised that there's like a funny femmy subplot because she's great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. It came out of nowhere. It felt like, I feel like usually a subplot on Star Trek is at least like related to the rest of the episode. And this one just came out of nowhere and was like, guess what? This communication system, it's sexy now.
I think she's good at knowing when an episode needs like levity or needs something to break it up, or else it will become monotonous. She's good at that. And it also gave them a good moment with Christopher to be like, so is this like a normal thing that goes on, you know? Especially because like the moment he sees like a woman on board, he's like, a woman on a ship?
Yeah,
That's
right?
crazy. Which is so funny.
What?
I don't think women are supposed to be in space.
They're definitely not in the Air Force.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway.
It is very funny, too, to be like, I'll just put a pet tractor beam on it. And, of course, like, it's the 1960s, so it just immediately explodes the ship. It's, like, super advanced technology. Whoops.
Oopsie doopsies. I really liked Christopher. I thought that he did a very good job.
Generic handsome guy?
Yeah, generic handsome guy. By the end, I was like, you know what? You did a really good job, generic handsome guy. Like, he committed to it. He was, like, convincing in his part. It never felt like, oh, you're just some ding-dong who got pulled up here. Like, they cast him very, very well. I thought he did a great job and, like, was continuously good throughout the whole episode, too.
Yeah, and it he is a good parallel to Kirk. Like if Kirk was like captured or something and he, you know, he adjusts very quickly, and this guy kind of showing his military training or like, you know, his prowess, like he adjusts to the wild like nature of what's happening to him. And we see later that the policeman who gets beamed up doesn't, right? And so it actually is a good juxtaposition of like why some people make captain versus others. You know what I mean? Like cool under pressure, adapting under situations. Like he is a good foil for Kirk in that way.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And he's very driven too. Like if it was Kirk, like he even asked, like, if you were in my position, what would you be doing? Kirk is like literally the exact same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But my job is to make you not do that.
Yeah.
Like if I were captured, I would 100% be trying to get back to my crew, be trying to make a report. Like, you are doing the right thing. I'm just not going to let you do it.
Yeah. We're just so much more advanced than you, honey. Like, we're so sorry.
Sorry, you'll never see your wife and daughters again.
Yeah. I did like, even though it was like dark, I liked that they just straight up told him, like, you don't contribute anything to society, really. And if you come back with us, you'll be fucking useless. So it's like,
Just
okay.
so fucking ice cold, being like, you're insignificant, my guy.
Oh my God. It was wild. What a wild moment. What a wild moment to just continue. Like, you know that they know the truth, and you're like, well, I just have to keep living this life now.
Well, and then too, like, to find out later, what a funny way to find out that you're gonna have another child.
Yes.
Especially like, you know, men wanting sons or whatever. He's like, I'm gonna have a son?
He's so excited. I said at one point, it like, if you really think about how wild it is on the bridge at the end, where he is looking around and knows that he's not going to remember anything. Like, how do you react in that moment? Are you trying to like look at everything? Like, are you only concentrating on the fact that you're going to be home? Like, it's just a wild thing to think about.
Well, at that point, he had made his choice too, right?
Yeah.
Like, I guess once they found out that his son is like historically important, he doesn't really have a choice.
Right. Yeah.
But, you know, it is also like a very Kirk thing. Like Kirk would have done the same thing, right? If it was like, go back to the Enterprise and the crew or stay here. Not going to stay there.
Never going to do that.
Never ever. This episode was originally supposed to be a 2-parter with the naked time, which is wild. I'm not really sure how that would have worked, because the naked time is the one where they are infected by like water and Spock cries and Sulu takes his shirt off and fences and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that one.
I have no idea why that would have worked together, but whatever. So they give it to Dorothy Fontana to like create a standalone teleplay. A smart move. Though they didn't give Robert Justman any credit or money for it. Classic Trek.
Great.
What's wild about this, I think you will appreciate this as a NASA person, as somebody who loves like space and real history. This episode came out in 1967, and Kirk says just casually to like the crew, oh, you know, the first moonshot was in the late 60s, and they also say, oh, it takes place on like a Wednesday. All of this stuff, which actually becomes true, because in 1969 on a Wednesday they're like, let's go to the moon.
Hell yes. That rules.
Yeah.
I love that.
So it's just them like casually saying something that then became real.
Oh, I love
The only thing DC got wrong was the time of day. They say in the newscast that it's 6 a.m. and it actually happened like a little after 9. It's fucking crazy.
God, I love that so much.
Just guessing. As you could probably tell, there are very similar sets. If you've ever watched I Dream of Jeannie, because Darren, his name's Darren, right? How did I pull that out? I don't think I ever really watched I Dream of Jeannie. Darren from I Dream of Jeannie is like a pilot or whatever. And so they reuse a lot of the like sets and costumes and stuff for I Dream of Jeannie, which was filmed 2 years earlier, I think, 1967. They call a black hole a black star because nobody called it a black hole yet.
Oh, that's weird.
I know.
When did that start? Do you know?
It says later in 1967, there was a guy, a physicist, John Archibald Wheeler, who popularized the term. But then, because it's science and people want credit for shit, then people are like, actually, it was used for the first time in 1963, blah, 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 blah. So, like, it doesn't matter. It wasn't popularly used, even if it was made in 1963 by Robert H. Dick. Even if it was coined by him, it wasn't popularized until 1967, and this was filmed in 1967. So while they were talking, so in the beginning where they're like, we're being pulled into a black star, and like when we try to get away, it is a black hole.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, you know, Star Trek, this is like the beginning of a lot of like the classic sci-fi stuff that we just like take for granted. Like this is the first slingshot around the sun for time travel, which is like a very Trek thing now. Like they do it in, oh God, that episode, what's it, A Taste of Armageddon or something, right? Yeah, they do it in that episode. They obviously do it in Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, aka the one with the whales.
Yes, absolutely. I've seen that one.
I think they do it in Picard. They do it in Voyager. They're just slingshotting around the sun all the time.
I mean,
they're like, it's the most complicated thing in the world, and then everybody just does it.
It's Starfleet. They can do whatever they want. If you make it to captain, you can slingshot around the sun.
To be fair, in Picard has like a whole monologue where he's like, well, they were only able to do it because Spock's so brilliant. Like, we don't have a Spock, and then they do it anyways.
We're all our own Spock.
We're all our own Spock if we just try hard enough. That moment where McCoy is like, you should be working on the calculations. And Spock is like, I am. I'm literally just doing it right now. I can talk to you and do complicated math in my head at the same time because you take no brain power. Hachi-machi. There's like a lot of good bone stuff. Like Kirk says something like, hey, you're reminding me of Spock. And he's like, if you're going to insult me, I'm going to leave.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Which is very funny to me. This is like mostly a well-regarded episode. Some people are like very mid on it, but it is constantly on like lists of like best time travel episodes in Trek, in all of Trek, not just TOS. So it's kind of a classic for many reasons. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of it. There's like a bunch of like, this shot was used in this episode and this music was used in this episode and that kind of shit. But like, I don't care about that.
No, that's fine. Those are in the notes or whatever.
Yeah, not my notes. I didn't even write them down.
All right, fantastic.
You can Google
Fuck
that shit
those
yourself.
notes.
You can Google that shit yourself. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I was really surprised by how much I enjoyed this episode because I kind of was always like, oh yeah, it's that like time travel one, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then upon a rewatch, I was like, oh wait, this one's very funny, actually. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And paced really well.
Yes, I agree. I thought that the subplot helped pace it very well also.
Yeah.
Like you were saying before, she's good at introducing the levity to break up the storyline. It was really effective.
And I just love whenever Kirk gets to be a bitch to somebody. Like he's being interrogated and he's like, they're like, how did you get in here? And he's like, I literally just appeared.
Right? I love that he's like, I will straight up tell you, but you won't believe me. Oh, you didn't believe me? Wow.
Crazy.
Wow. Super surprising.
Crazy.
Wow.
What a bitch. I love him so much. He's such a bitch. Synopsis showdown?
Sure. Mine's not good.
Mine just says, sexy computer voice. You never know whose son's going to colonize Saturn.
The crew fucks with time and somehow has a lovely romp.
Yeah. It's a time romp.
It's a time romp.
Do you want to do Mulder, It's Me? Or would you want to skip it this time, do you think?
Yeah, let's just skip it.
Okay.
It's fine.
Well, my best guess would be that he's been exposed to some kind of chemical refrigerant, like liquid nitrogen, possibly even ingested it.
Well, you see what happens when you drink and drive?
Two men are having a contentious argument as they walk through the streets. They are scientists, and this will be important shortly. They are approached by an old man saying one of them will be killed by a bus in like 2 fucking seconds, and they need to get the fuck out of there. The two men are like, okay, Grandpa, get back to the home now. I would just like to take 1 second to say, if some old woman approached me in the street and was like, here's the time and place of your death, and I need you to get the fuck out of here, I don't care. I'm leaving. I am going to leave that area. That I don't care. I'm leaving there right away.
Just in cases.
Right, exactly. Just in case, CYA, I am getting the fuck out of there. So, like, mistake number 2 from these men. The first mistake is deeply unethical fraud, which is just an aside and we'll come back later. Anyway.
Classic.
That does in fact happen, and that man is Regina Georged to death. Mulder and Scully are called in because there is a disagreement between Jason, the alive one, and the bus driver about who exactly is responsible for the death. It's the dead one. Look both ways. You literally just got warned that you were going to die. And also, the security guard who arrested the old man was found frozen to death, popsicle solid, with Jason's fingerprints in the car. Weird. By interviewing the alive one, Mulder discovers that the dead one was going to rat out the alive one for falsifying data on a research paper. The previously aforementioned unethical fraud. It doesn't super look great for Jason. Anyhow, a Japanese scientist is murdered to death by the mysterious old man. Turns out the mysterious substance is this freezing agent that Jason has been working on for years but had never actually accomplished yet. Ominous! Because colleague girlfriend is also on the case, she hypothesizes that the Japanese scientist might not actually be dead. Well, it turns out he in fact is alive, but it doesn't last long because he bursts into flames. The old man follows colleague girlfriend and flashes his weapon at her but doesn't actually attack her. It turns out that Jason is just covering for colleague girlfriend because she's the one that faked the data. Women, am I right? Anyway, inside the old man's hotel room, they found a faded photograph of Jason, the murdered Japanese scientist and colleague girlfriend. Mulder deduces it's time travel because, of course, he does. When colleague girlfriend confronts old Jason, he reveals that she's responsible for the horrifying upcoming future. And then he chemical stabs her and she goes, all frosty like the other people have. Because Dana Scully can do literally any kind of science with little to no practice, she successfully does what Lisa, colleague girlfriend, could not and resurrects her without having her burst into flames. Meanwhile, the Jasons are arguing in the mainframe room because old Jason just torched all of young Jason's files containing the research for the chemical compound. Old Jason tells him that he does successfully discover this compound, which will lead to time travel, but the outcome is to plunge the world into chaos, so sorry, Jasons, we gotta go. Young Jason tries to choke old man Jason as though he's like, if he's dead, he's going to be able to bring Lisa back to life. I don't know what the plan was there exactly, but bad news for the Jasons. Old Jason is like, fire's on, bro, and he hot hugs him straight to death. Lisa learns of Jason's death while she cannot move or respond. Mulder then very cutely quotes Scully's thesis at her, and they muse aloud about the infinite universes and outcomes that there can only be one in this universe that they inhabit, and that means that someone will discover time travel. Anyway, Lisa's only so sad because she immediately returns and turns around and is like, cool, let's science this world straight to death. The end.
The end.
What did you think of this episode?
It's fine.
I would agree. I also thought this was more mid than it was. I enjoyed it
Yeah.
more than I was expecting to, which was nice.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it is just one of those episodes where, I mean, I guess it's not technically like Monster of the Week, but it's like, here's a problem, here's a solution. We didn't totally clean up this mess. Here's a stinger where I think the problem is still going to happen. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. And also, like, this series comes back sometime later, well past the time that they said that time travel would be discovered. Do they return to that? No.
Well,
not one single time.
That guy, the time traveling old man, did kill a lot of people that were like, so maybe she did need help from the Japanese guy. Maybe she did need help from Jason. Like, there is a picture of all three of them figuring it out. And
That's
like,
true.
even though she has the compound, also she was frozen near to death and then had a body temp of 106. So like, I have to imagine she's not as smart as before. I have to imagine there is some kind of brain damage.
Yes.
Like-
no. People cook at like 104. Like, that's no way. You're not
Yeah.
coming back from that. Oh, you're not coming back from absolute zero, but like, even within the realm of this universe, that it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. So I think maybe losing her, scientific partners and also having mush for a brain prevents this form of time travel.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's my guess.
I think that's a good way to look at it.
So are we thinking that the way that the time travel works is something happens and then you go back in time and then the compound that he was using to freeze people is actually what he's using to keep himself alive, right?
Yeah.
And then if he doesn't use it, he immolates.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yep, that's exactly right.
'Cause he's very sweaty sometimes. And
Yes.
then because there is that scene where he like gives it to himself, but then he's just trucking along. Seems like a terrible way to time travel.
Yeah, it truly does. It seems really bad. Like, it could go super, super wrong. Although they say that this is the beginning of time travel, so it seems like they must have something else that comes after this as well. Especially if it becomes, the way that they describe it is like it became widely available.
Right.
And so I think it is an interesting thing to consider, like, if you know that you're responsible for it and the world is absolute fucking chaos.
A world without hope.
A world without hope and a world without history, which is also like, yeah, that hits kind of hard. That's a thing, especially today when like people try to erase history for lots of reasons.
Yeah.
And, like,
I guess if you think about time travel and like a lot of pop culture, it is very like a select few get this privilege or there's like an agency that oversees it or whatever. It's very rare that it's just like, we all do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it's like has no oversight. And it kind of reminded me of that book we read for book club, the Drew McGarry one where everyone
Point
could,
B.
where everyone could teleport and how it
Yes.
like plunged the world into chaos.
I had to completely rewrite the way that the world worked. Like,
Yeah.
there weren't doors anymore. And like, this is the same thing. Like, imagine someone wants to go back and stop Abraham Lincoln's assassination. And then somebody else is like, no, that needs to actually happen. Like, it's just back and forth constantly, like what exists and what doesn't. Like, it's such a, it would be overwhelming to think that you have to make that, like, you have to make the decision. You have to kill yourself physically as another person.
Yeah, I mean, I think if that happened, I would just use the time travel and pick a time and be like, I don't know, I'm just going to live in this time. I'm not going to even try and go back to our time. I'm just going to live in whatever time this is and roll with it. Like, not a future time. I think I would just be like, yeah, you know what? Let's do 96 or whatever. And be like, this is far enough before nothing really, you know, I just set a time. Who knows? Be like, maybe this will be semi-stable. I'm just going to be right here.
Mm-hmm. I've already lived through it, and now I can do it a little smarter. Even if you're committed to not changing the future in any way, like, there are ways that you could live that you would still be like, okay, I can live like this.
Well, and also, too, like, I mean, it depends on what kind of science fiction / real science you're getting into. Like, theoretically, every time you time travel, you're creating a new timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep. But according to Scully's thesis, that's not what happens. You still are in the same timeline, even though there are infinite timelines. But this one includes the time travel, and so it's still one continuous timeline. Just like, I love that she was like, I was 23 when I wrote that. Like, I was a fucking ding dong. Okay.
It's also insane that she wrote a whole thing about time travel, and then like when he was like, "What about time travel?" She was like, ugh. It's like, I think bitch, you wrote a whole paper about it.
Oh, that's probably why. You know how, like, you just do something for, like, 3 years and you're like, I never want to fucking look at this again? Like, that.
Why would a young med student write a paper about time travel?
I don't know. She was probably a double major. I can only assume. She was sleeping with, like, 6 of her professors at that point, so.
Scully had a lot going on.
She sure did.
No friends. Lots of time.
It's true.
Canonically, she doesn't have very many friends.
No, she does not. As the years go on, she has 0 friends, actually, as it turns out. And she talks about it at one point. Like, I sacrificed literally everything to stay in this department with you, including friends. She goes to a baby shower in, like, the first season, I think. Yeah. Even then.
And it's very awkward.
Yeah.
She doesn't do a good job.
Because she knows that Mulder's going to call her at any fucking moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It follows its own narrative, like, whatever, pretty good. There's a couple good Mulder lines, a couple good Scully lines, but it is very much, like, it fits the theme perfectly. But there's, like, nothing that really stands out in this episode.
There's no subplot. It's not like there's something else that you're trying to figure out what's happening. Like, all of it is. There's no Skinner, right? Like, there is nothing to break up the storyline in this.
Yeah.
It just is the storyline.
It's just a very classic time travel episode, and also a scientists really can't help themselves, right? Mm-hmm. Like, this is like when there was a line where I think young Jason was like, the theory was sound. And I was like, yeah, all bad scientists say that.
Yeah, for real.
To justify their shitty actions.
Right, exactly. It is like an accurate look at academia in that sense. Yeah. That, like,
where he's like, I was feeling so much pressure, I had to, like, flub it, even though we find out that was her.
Right, exactly. Which is even harder to know that you submitted this paper and then afterwards be like, fuck, well, now I have to protect this person who I care about.
Yeah, I mean, I've bemoaned this about academia a bunch. It's like somebody who was, like, adjacent to it for a while. Like, there should be 2 tracks for teaching. There should be people who want to do research, and in order to get that grant and stuff that they, like, do have to publish and, like, teach a few classes. But there should be a track for people who are just like, I understand this material really well, and I'm a really good teacher. Mm-hmm. I don't need to do this rat race, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just here to teach the people who are paying $40,000 to $100,000 a year.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Whew.
Wild.
Glad I'm not in college anymore.
Ugh. Can you imagine? I love being in college. I love being in grad school. I think about even TAing in 2019, 2020, pre-pandemic, like, and how different it must be now with just a few years later with AI stuff.
Oh, God, yeah. I've heard.
And, like, you probably felt like I probably would have felt really impotent as a TA because I can't really do anything. Mm-hmm. But if I was a teacher, I'd be like, and you fail, and you fail, and you fail. But, like, that's also extra work. Like,
yeah,
we have a friend who was over last night who's a professor, and he was like, yeah, I put, like, secrets in my assignments so that I can tell when they used AI. But then also, like, I feel like people are getting wise to that too, and like,
Well, good. That's what should be happening. See, that's the thing about AI and ChatGPT is that they strip you of your own resources within your own brain. Like
Yeah.
they're impairing your cognitive function, and like part of school, a huge part of school is learning how to learn. And like if you're just totally
why are you even
outsourcing
there?
that. Yeah, exactly. Like why even outsource this? Why even be doing it? But if they're figuring out inside of this assignment, there's this other thing happening that does actually do the thing that you're supposed to do. It's not in the way that you want, but like I would rather that be happening rather than just like blanket use that's been happening.
It is a blowback from us, well, not us, but a generation ahead of us making college mandatory in order to have any kind of job or
well,
whatever.
that's fucking for real.
Has devalued getting degrees and getting higher education in the first place because it came mandatory just to have on your fucking resume.
Oh yeah.
Just to have a minimum wage job. Anyways,
Science. Will it surprise you to know that Gordon Green? Yeah, it will. You don't know who Greenwald
I was like,
is.
who the
no,
hell is
I was
that?
going to say that the two of them, Gordon Greenwald wrote this episode after reading a Scientific American article about time travel and about basically what Scully's thesis was about the difference between two kinds. I wrote them down. I don't think it actually matters. Two different kinds of theory, quantum theory and something else. I don't really care. But the idea behind it too is the conversation that Oppenheimer has with Truman, that Oppenheimer has with Truman in 45 about the atomic bombings and how he wishes that he could go back in time and make sure that that didn't happen. It's like you're directly responsible for this thing and your only hope would be to literally go back and undo it. And so they wanted to make those two things fit together because the time travel element of it is really interesting, but also that like you find out, as happens in a lot of Monsters of the Week, that the villain is you, that the monster is literally you in a different physical form too, which like I like that a lot because the idea is that it creates this like new set of horrors about what the timelines look like and like does this actually impact people. I love in this that you can talk to each other. I know there's some like
Oh yeah, some sci-fi it's like if you look at yourself, you'll both explode.
right, exactly. Like any kind of contact with yourself.
Paradox.
Right, exactly. Creates this paradox, blah, blah, blah. And it's like as though this didn't by itself. Like as though time travel did not do that by itself. Maybe this won't surprise you. They were reworking this teleplay like literally on set as it was happening because they were like, this is so fucking confusing. They at one point, David Duchovny later was like, yeah, we had to do a bunch of rewrites because there was no way for any of us to tell if the audience could tell what was actually happening in the moment. And they cut 2 characters on set that they were like, scrap them. They're not important. We don't need them. They're just taking up a bunch of time. And like, imagine being those 2 actors who are like, yes, I got this day part on the X-Files. I'm so excited to put this on my resume. And then your axe.
I mean, it happens.
It happens all the time.
I
all
think
the
that
time.
the rewrites work though. It is a pretty clear sci-fi plot, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I feel like I imagine it was quite messier before with the extra characters and any kind of subplot that would have come with them. Obviously, I guess they are the subplot that got cut from this. But I agree. I feel like it's clean. It makes sense. There's not any, they play within the rules of their own universe, which is important to you.
It's deeply important to me.
I know that it is. I know.
You can say crazy shit as long as it's a rule that you've established.
Absolutely. They did a good job of this. Absolute 0. That's how you time travel. This received mixed to positive reviews. It's a mixed to positive review episode for sure.
Yeah.
It's a little generous to be like, it's really good, but it is pretty good. Our favorite Zach Hanlon said that it has all of the pieces of my favorite kind of episode, but it just doesn't really work as well as it should.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, where you're like, there's nothing I really can complain about it. It's actually sort of how I feel about the Fantastic Four movie, where I'm like, I don't have any complaints. It just left me feeling kind of hollow. Like, it's clean, it's crisp, like, everybody's doing a good job, the story makes sense, all of that stuff. It's just, there's just something that is not compelling.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. It's funny because there were two different people, Paula Viteris and Robert Shearman, who just both said it's a middling episode, which it feels like, yes, it is a pretty middling episode,
Yeah.
but at least it's a positive one. And the things that people had to say about it were that it takes time travel seriously, that it's playing within the own rules of its uniform, that there are plot holes, but they don't let it completely destructure the rest of the plot, which is totally true.
Yeah. I would agree.
Yep. All right. Oh my God.
Synopsis showdown?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. It's science versus history, and everyone loses.
Scientists literally cannot help themselves.
Fantastic.
Multiple meetings. Are you ready for Deep Throat's mission logs?
Let's do it.
Good morning, Captain.
Good morning, Captain.
A woman?
Crewman.
Starting with tomorrow's yesterday. So tomorrow's yesterday is today, actually.
Okay. I'm following you. Got it.
So we mentioned some NASA stuff before. I'm going to mention it some more. First aired January 26, 1967. Of course, January 27th, 1967 is the Apollo 1 fire.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it is.
I mean, maybe not awesome.
Well,
Yeah, that was like a sardonic response.
yeah. I heard
like-
the eye roll.
I don't know, Erin.
I heard the eye roll. But this is all happening at a time where things of the space race are kind of in a fever pitch, at least building up to it. Stell mentioned that in her notes and her synopsis actually was a very specific kind of jet fighter. The reason there is that specific model was called the Starfighter.
Oh, okay.
I did not read that. That's very funny.
Yeah, so they sent the Starfighter after an actual fucking spaceship.
That rules.
Ha 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 ha. Written by DC Fontana. I agree with everything we said about DC Fontana. I think this was very dry and needed something. And instead of going super deep sci-fi, DC was like, let's bounce this up a little bit. Put the funny flute on it.
Put a little jazzy music on it in the corridor.
Little jazzy music on it when the hot lady passes. Do the sassy Major Barrett voice. Let this other Air Force guy, the second Air Force guy we beam up, be a total dolt. Ugh. It was good. It was fun. Directed by Michael O'Herlihy. Production staff was well satisfied with O'Herlihy's work. They wanted him to, like, the episode was filmed on time, got in on time, everyone got paid. It was great. They wanted him back to direct both The Paradise Syndrome and The Children Shall Lead in the third season. He said no. He was already working on feature films and turned them down. O'Herlihy himself is an Emmy-nominated director for Backstairs at the White House and also directing duties on 36 episodes of Hawaii Five-0 and Hoover versus the Kennedys. As Stell mentioned, this all kind of originates near beat for beat by a story synopsis that Robert H. Justman submitted to Gene Roddenberry, that Gene Roddenberry then rejected giving him any credit for, while Roddenberry also regularly gave himself and paid himself writing credits for the show.
Like $3,000.
Yes. Like, not a small
It's like
amount.
a lot of money now.
Today, yeah.
Yes. There is, and I'm not going to read it all, a lot of effort in fandom and extended canon to connect this with Assignment Earth, the other Earth thing was with Assignment Earth, which was supposed to be its own show that failed.
Right.
And then later, John Byrne, comic book writer, had a short miniseries of Assignment Earth, and there is an issue in that connects the two directly. There are some other novelizations and things that also do that work as well, of like what the Assignment Earth people were doing before this, which is a year before time travel stuff, but a year before all of the Assignment Earth stuff happens. Assignment Earth wasn't very good, so I'm not going to go into like super hardcore detail about that.
Okay.
But yeah. And then just another brief NASA mention. Spock mentions Captain Christopher Sun heading the Earth-Saturn probe. That happened in 2004 with the Cassini-Huygens spacecraft that reached Saturn and its moons. There was no, like, landing and takeoff or whatever, like Spock said, but that is a thing that actually led to happening.
Awesome.
There was no one named Sean Jeffrey Christopher on the Cassini probe, though. But, like,
Missed opportunity.
Yeah. Also, like, loosely, the timing that Spock lays out for all of those events and the age of these people at the time in the 70s works out well that his son would do that in 2004. So,
That's
like,
cool.
It's weird how all of the timing of that and the DC thing happened earlier. Moving on to some casting stuff, that crew woman was named Sherry Townsend, and this is her only acting credit. That's Ed Peck as Colonel Fellini, the one who was giving Kirk the old third degree, as it were. He's Westcott and Bullitt and voiced Jack Jingley in The Last Unicorn, and also was in 9 episodes of Happy Days. All of these are just very of-the-time references as well in this episode, so I'll move up to Roger Perry, who's our Major Christopher. He was discovered by Lucille Ball and contracted as a Desilu player, as they did back then. So the vast majority of his credits are in Desilu-verse TV shows. Best known for his role in Harrington and Son as the Son, and Arrest and Trial. Guest roles in smaller films and TV shows all over the place as well. Prior to his acting career in the 50s, he served as an intelligence officer in the U.S. Air Force. So, like, totally in his wheelhouse. He was also a composer and a songwriter. During Barbra Streisand's first TV appearance, she sang the song A Kid Again, which is a composition by him, and also composed scores for LA theater productions as well. Moving on to the X-Files. Note number 1. God damn it, Mulder, just shoot the fucking fire extinguisher that you used to break down the window through the door on the 2 men that are on
Think about that.
fire.
He literally breaks down the window and then just stares at them. Maybe, I was on a little rant then, and I was like, it seems very un-Mulder-like to, like, maybe kind of stop him because of all. So maybe he just had a moment where he was like, I'm going to let this burn.
I'm sick of this time travel shit too. We'll just close this up one thing. But he also, like, in that phone call that they share, he doesn't tell Scully that old Jason is there creeping around. And Scully legitimately lies to scientist girlfriend in the end, completely omitting that the old Jason was there and that all of that happened in the server room.
Yeah.
Lisa, thank you.
Yeah.
But Scully completely omits that
Well,
old
to be
Jason
fair,
and young
she
Jason were
just
there fighting.
She just came out of, like, a tub full of
Some
ice
kind of
and
goo. Yeah.
and whatever.
I saw it as, like, rapidly melted and boiled ice because she was so hot or whatever. But yeah, it might have been just some cold goo. Anyways, those were just my random thoughts on this episode. This episode was written a little bit loose, so I'll get to that right now. April 13th, 1997 was the original air date. As Erin mentioned, written by Howard Gordon and David Greenwald. Howard Gordon, of course, a huge part of the first 4 seasons of the X-Files, writing credits, assistant director credits, story credits everywhere. Greenwald was actually, he worked on like maybe 3 or 4 episodes of the X-Files and was offered a job there. He rejected that to go work on Buffy.
Well,
and he did go work on Buffy.
That's all right.
As Erin mentioned, this was written in like a haze of 1 week with like 15-hour writing days and also pulling in opinions from John Scheiben, Frank Spotnitz, and Ken Horton, basically anyone else who was working on the show at the time. And they self-admittedly really struggled with the time travel aspects of this and with keeping a timeline. In the end, I think it's a quote from Howard Gordon saying that he never wanted to write anything time travel ever again after just like sitting down and trying to write a time travel story. Mm-hmm. He had burnt himself on it completely.
I love that he's like, never again. Never again.
And then the 2 of them work together again on Buffy because Howard Gordon comes over to write a few episodes of Buffy. So it's not like the last time they all work with one another. Greenwald himself works on 122 episodes of Buffy and 110 episodes of Angel, and also does producer, executive producer, co-exec producer credits on those things, as well as 123 episodes of Grimm. This is directed by James Charleston, who also directs Avatar, Teleco, Elegy, and also a couple of Millennium episodes as well. We didn't watch Avatar for this. Stell, have you watched that one? That's the Skinner one where, like, someone he was having an affair with dies, and they get really, really up in Skinner's personal life.
No.
It's season 3. You haven't watched it yet?
No.
All right, cool.
I have not.
You will get there soon.
Yep, we'll have it on our Skinner watch list.
Yeah.
Skinner watch.
James Charleston also does an episode of Space Above and Beyond, 35 episodes of Northern Exposure, and 78 episodes as assistant director of Hill Street Blues in the 80s as well. So he's just a guy that makes a lot of TV.
Just a guy.
That amazing stunt of the guy literally bursting into flames. Hey, guess what? We did it old school.
Hell yeah.
It was just one take of one stunt performer in gel waving his limbs around. It took 12 seconds. It looks great.
It looks so good.
Yeah. I like the makeup leading up to it too, where they show his skin. It almost looks like wax just like peeling off of him. Very fucking effective. We'll move on to some casting stuff here as well. Stell, warm up the supernatural research engine.
All right. It's warmed.
We see briefly Aurelio D'Annunzio, who is a detective on here, early episode. He also works on Alive the Commish Highlander, also season 7, episode 15 of Supernatural Repo Man. He plays Detective Sutton.
Let's look it up. I see a lot of the guy who plays the devil here.
Yeah,
so I
so
think
it's
it's the
just
devil just yelling at Sam a lot and being
the
like,
devil.
come on, help me out. And then Sam's like, but I don't wanna.
This is just us talking. Could like Repo Man be about souls? Because there's a very famous movie, The Repo Man, that makes
4
the Repo
years
Man.
ago, Sam and Dean
here we
helped
go.
a woman named Nora
is my
exorcise a
fault.
demon that was systematically killing women in a small town. I think they helped this girl not have a demon anymore, and now the repercussions of that are happening.
Fantastic.
So somebody wants her soul back. I guess. Season 7 is my least favorite season. Hot takes.
We see Brent Chapman as a security cop. We also see him play a traffic cop in DPO and as another uncredited role in F. Emasculata. I don't think we watched DPO as part of this show as well, because
we
that's
didn't.
Jack Black and Giovanni Ribisi.
Oh,
We have
yeah.
not watched that one. Why didn't we watch that one?
That's a good question.
Why did you pick the Bryan Cranston one over the Jack Black one?
Because he wasn't famous. That's the thing.
Bryan Cranston was famous at the time.
Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there are several episodes where people are in it where it's like the Lucy Liu one. Like, whoa,
Yeah.
you are way too famous to be on this show.
I think you're good to watch DPO if you want to watch one of young
Giovanni, he was like in
Bobby's
everything.
favorite X-Files episodes. One of
Yeah.
them is DPO.
Is he still alive? He was in everything, and now he's
Giovanni
not
Ribisi is,
in
yeah,
anything.
yeah, he's still around.
What's he doing?
I don't know. But Brent Chapman, who we're talking about, has guest roles all over Canadian TV, including all of the cool sci-fi shit we usually mentioned, and Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Halloween Resurrection, and was in the first episode of Peacemaker as the Fact Attack host.
That show was very good.
Also 2 Supernaturals. Season 2, episode 6, No Exit as Ed, and season 8, episode 3, Heartache as Paul Hayes.
No Exit is the one No Exit is the H.H. Holmes episode. So there's that. What was the other one?
Heartache 8-3.
Heartache.
As a full ass named character, Paul Hayes. So I don't know.
Oh, I think this is the one. Oh, people are getting their hearts ripped out. You know, whatever.
Casual.
But also, this is the one where Dean is coming back from purgatory, and Sam has like a nice life with like a lady and a dog, and he's like, "You really got to give that shit up, bitch. We're hunters. Fuck this dog."
Oh, so his brother had a chance for happiness and he ruined
Yeah.
it.
To be fair, that happens to both of them. They ruin each other's happiness a lot. But somebody's stealing hearts. I don't really remember this one, but I do see the picture of his dog. So that's pretty sad. Somebody's stealing hearts.
As a briefly seen desk clerk, we see Patricia Idlett. That's Tiffany, the waitress from Dead Like Me. So she was in almost every single episode of Dead Like Me because they're always in the diner.
I never watched that show.
It's good. I liked it. And also Dr. Brooker in Ginger Snaps 2.
Ugh, we love ginger snaps in this family.
And Sarah Porter on Battlestar Galactica because Canada. Norman R. Moore as a coroner here previously plays an ER doctor in Sanguinarium earlier that season and a medical examiner in a Millennium episode as well. Small roles in Capote, Saving Silverman, Stargate SG-1, and Supernatural Season 1, Episode 10, Asylum as Dr. Ellicott.
Well, I haven't Googled this one yet, but I think it's the one where they pretend to go into an asylum to like help people, and
that would make sense.
The one. Well, there's one where Dean goes into an insane asylum and pretends to be insane and pulls his pants down, and everybody really loves that. But this looks like something else. This looks like a spooky one. Oh, I think it's like a haunted house. A bunch of teenagers go into an abandoned asylum, and then they have to help these two ding-dongs who get stuck. It's not the one where he goes into the insane asylum and then pulls his pants down and yells pudding.
We don't know if he did that in this episode and they just like didn't film it.
He does it in every episode.
It's kind of just what he does.
That's just a classic, like, wouldn't it be cool if we like made out in this abandoned building and then it's actually haunted and these two idiots have to save these other two idiots?
Yeah.
Season
but no
1
dicks.
or 2. I don't remember what you said.
As our doctor, who is not used to bodies getting set on fire and is honestly just trying her best, that is Allison Matthews. She previously, because they're both happening at the same time around season 4 of the X-Files, she was in a Millennium episode previous to this Walkabout. So they hired her for Millennium and then brought her on for this. She's Karen Failbrook in 3 Battlestar Galactica episodes, also Bates Motel, several Stargates, some Gundam Seed voiceovers, a bunch of Canadian television. She's also head of coaching at the Bard on the Beach Shakespeare Festival in Vancouver, Canada. Cool. She's coached productions since 2008 there.
Bard on the Beach.
Cool. Bard on the Beach. As Stell noticed from the back of his head, Dr. Yonichi is played by Hiro Kanagawa, who we've previously seen in Firewalker, the Bradley Whitford episode. Stell just like noticed it was him right away.
I just saw the shape of his head, and he's in so much TV and stuff that I was like, oh, I bet it's that guy. And then he turned around and I was like, it is that guy. Yeah.
We talked about him in that episode, but his most recent work since then, where he was in an episode of The Last of Us TV show and then voiced Nobunaga in the Assassin's Creed Shadows video game. Also noticed by Stell right away as Teb in Galaxy Quest, that's Jed Reese as Look Out for the Fucking Bus Lucas Menard.
I'm pretty sure he's the one that goes, it exploded. Galaxy Quest for context is my favorite movie.
It rules.
That should be of no one's surprise and of no one's projection at all. Also the recruiter in Deadpool, Anson on the Chris Isaac Show, and so much more, as well as being a stage actor in New York and Canada as well. As our older Jason Nichols, that's Michael Fairman. Jason in the fantastic Mulholland Drive. Patrick Murphy in 188 episodes of The Young and the Restless, spanning from 2008 to 2017.
Oh, okay.
Rich on 62 episodes of Ryan's Hope, Seinfeld, Monk, Workaholics, credits all the way back from 71. He was an Air Force vet who jumped right into acting after the service.
Air Force, tied together.
There it is. That's why I wrote it in the notes. And is also famous and recognizable for being in multiple Hallmark Keepsake Christmas Ornament TV ads. We are a society that runs on advertising that is going to perk someone's mind for sure. That is Susan Lee Hoffman as Dr. Girlfriend Lisa Linnelli.
Yes.
Dr. Arson in Outbreak, and a couple of guest roles on Angel as well by the same director. Melrose Place and a few other places in the 90s, but like not a lot for how obviously 90s she looked, as Stell put it.
Melrose Place makes a lot of sense.
Yes,
she's got that look.
And that's Joseph Fuqua as younger or our time Jason Nichols.
Mm-hmm.
He's most known for playing General Jeb Stuart in both the Gettysburg and Gods and Generals movies made in Canada. Some guest roles in all of Canadian produced TV as well, but is a Yale School of Drama graduate and first company member in the Rubicon Theater Company in California. So he has over 100 credited roles in the last 3 decades on stage, and also director and playwright creds as well. He's a guy who just takes guest acting roles on the side while being a theater actor. Did a DS9 episode, season 6, episode 2, Rocks and Shoals, as Ensign Gordon as well.
Cool.
And then the only other thing I said is it's such a Mulder line. He's in the car with young Jason and he goes, it puts a whole other spin on being your worst enemy.
There's a couple good Mulder lines.
Yep.
Do you think this is funny? What do I think is funny?
Always look an old person in the face. It might be you and you're getting loopered. Bye.
Getting lubered?
Looper.
Looper. Got it. I thought you said lubed, and I was like, what? Anyways.
Think about it, Scully. If Lucas Manan never gets hit by that bus, his complaint gets heard before the grant committee. Jason Nichols loses his funding, and he never gets to collaborate on his research with Dr. Yanichi. Therefore, this photograph never gets taken because this celebration never happens.
And if your sister is your aunt and your mother marries your uncle, you'd be your own grandpa.
Now it's time for our overall thoughts. How do these episodes tie to the theme? They both have time travel.
Yeah, they're both right over the plate. Both of these could not be
Woo.
more on theme. Absolutely not.
How do these episodes tie together? Not a lot, really.
Now the Air Force.
Yeah, but that's just like some guy's past.
Yeah, but that's it.
Yeah, this because it's, one is the crew literally time traveling and one is them encountering a time traveler, which are different vibes.
Yeah, totally. They're both classic ways of writing a time travel episode, but they're like a yin and a yang on that.
Yeah, for sure. Superfan questionnaire. As a superfan, would this be on your must-watch list, however you define that?
Maybe. It's really good. It was funny. I enjoyed it. I thought it was beautifully shot. Like, I don't know, how long is my must-watch list? If it's like...
I said however you defined it, man.
Yeah, I would say top 20. Yes, definitely. It would be my top 20.
That's fair. No.
Fair. I would be really surprised.
Yeah.
Really into this mid-time travel episode.
Yeah. Is there a series-defining moment in this episode?
Yeah, I feel like the crew, again, working together in a very, Enterprise way. It's really showcased in this. There is a lot of flinging, which is also very important to the show. But I thought that the flinging in this particularly was very good because you really got to see them experience, heavy force.
Theirs was, more of, the aftermath of the flinging.
Well, they did the flinging when they started the second time to do the slingshot around the sun.
Yeah, fair.
But I think that was a part of it. That, the flinging is silly or whatever, but, the flinging is really about the way that the ship is moving and the way that the crew interacts with the ship. And that's part of why I really like it. And I think that it was really effectively used in this one.
Yeah.
Was there any episode-defining moments in this? I mean, Mulder being Mulder.
Yeah, I think the one that Bobby pointed out was he breaks the window and then just lets those people burn to death. That's pretty wild.
That's pretty wild.
I didn't even clock it. I was just this is just a normal day for Mulder. Does this affirm your OTP?
Yes, I think so. I was halfway through the episode and I was like, yeah, he really is fighting for the ship. It's the ship and the crew more than just him and the Enterprise individually. So maybe not in that sense, but in the sense of Captain Kirk loves Starfleet and everything about it.
That computer's trying to fuck him.
Yeah, exactly. That Planet of Women was like, we know what you want.
Yeah, and he has to constantly be like, oh, I'm really uncomfortable by this. I love this.
Does this affirm your OTP?
Not really. They're not really flirty at all in this. It's very kind of matter of fact. They're not really together that much in this episode, I feel like.
Yeah, they do spend a lot of time apart.
Yeah. Is this a fuck, fine, or a flop?
I think this one's a fuck. I wasn't expecting that. Thought it was going to be a fine. I think it's a fuck, actually.
This one is a fine.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it. All right. You can find us on the internet. You can follow us at NYD Productions on Instagram and interact with the show using the hashtag XTrexPod. You can find me at NYDEarnGenC on Instagram.
You can find me on Blue Sky, Tumblr, and Instagram at Stella Cheeks.
You can find me on Blue Sky at Castle Uncle Vanya. And also, you can find me posting a bunch of crazy shit on our monthly newsletter at nwhittyproductions.beehive.com. That's nwhittyproductions.beehiiv.com. Erin, let us know. We're like 10 issues deep of that now. That's been going on, and it's fun. I think it's fun for me to read what you two put out, and
What
also
we're doing.
and also funnel my psychosis into as well.
You can also email us at extrixpod@gmail.com with questions or comments. We're getting pretty close to our main series wrap-up, so if you have any thoughts, feelings, questions, memes, whatever, feel free to email us. If you want some time travel fix, I definitely have those. I also have links where like the guys are like actually NASA scientists too, if that tickles your fancy.
sounds fun.
I feel like I'll have to dig those up a little bit, but I definitely can remember one where Kirk was an actual NASA scientist, and then maybe Spock was a time traveler. I don't know. It was interesting.
That
So they
sounds good.
exist. It's very plotty.
They do exist.
Yes.
And as well as emailing
Just quote
us.
the Santa Claus M&M
Yeah, I did.
commercial.
I absolutely did.
Wow.
That is my brain rot. Oh, great. Okay. Well, gotta erase that with drugs. Also, on top of that email that Stell mentioned, if you want to get in on some of the more active conversations that we are about to have as we try to wrap up the mainline run of this show, insane, you can join our Discord, where we are going to pull a lot of those conversations and comments and questions from for our finale, as well as several other channels having several other conversations, or all of those channels having the same conversation. It's either one or the other. So feel free to email us or contact us on any of our social media. Ask for entry into that Discord server. It's free. More and more people are doing it, which I like seeing. It's great.
Yay.
And if you want even more of us, like access to our script notes, which we mention a lot, outtakes, extra podcasts, like unofficial channels back this month, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/NYTProductions, where you can get access to all of that and more for at least $1. And also, just like support us in our ventures.
Podcasts, shockingly, still cost money.
It's true. And don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and to tell your friends. We find this nerdy shit is better when it's shared.
We'll see you next episode for Stranded. In the meantime,
Believe boldly.
Seek truth.
ship proudly.
X-Trex is created and written by Stella Cheeks, Erin Cline, and Bobby Hoffman, and produced by Bobby Hoffman for NYD Productions. Our show theme is Alien Spy by Ionix, and our show art was made by Jonathan Curtis.